Hello, and welcome back to the House of Graphic Literature. It's been a very long time since I've talked to y'all here, but I got something very special, and I'd like to I'd like to showcase it. This here is the 1983 omnibus edition of Shirato Sanpei's classic political ninja drama, Ninja Bugeichou Kagemaru-den, also known as Tales of a Ninja, Band of the Ninja, a thousand other titles. And this is a comic that is becoming extremely special to me. Not only am I helping with the unofficial translation of this, but it also I'm discovering more and more how important this thing really was to the formation of manga as a whole, and especially like ninja manga. You wouldn't have your Naruto's without shit like this. And so I knew that I wanted a copy for myself one way or another. And it's kind of hard to get this series because for one, it's long. It's very old. As I said, it's from the 1950s. Started in 1959, if I recall, and in 1961. It was a kashihon, meaning it was a rental book, and those are pretty increasingly expensive these days. It was reprinted in about 20 softcover volumes, which those are really nice, however, not as easy to find. But once I saw this edition, I knew I wanted to get my hands on it. What was really exciting about this is that it actually came with the box, the original box that it came in, which is really cool. It's not often that you get special editions that actually come with the original box, especially since this thing is obviously seen better days. But it's really cool. You have the classic imagery of Kagemaru, which is on most of the covers of the individual tankobon. You have this kid whose name I cannot recall right now. On the back you have nothing. On the top you have Kagemaru again. On the side you have some peasants. Yeah, there's not much to this box at all, as you can tell. But it's really cool. There is a second version of this box that has a lot more going on. It shows like the peasants up here, has Mufudoji and on the side, all kinds of stuff. But this is just the version I was able to procure. What I really like is this is how it opens up. There's a flap at the bottom, it goes up, and then you open it right up, and boom, there you go. Two beautiful volumes that house this very, very important series. So let me go ahead and pull these out one by one. The first and the second. Now I'm going to get the box on out of here, and we're going to talk about the books themselves. As you see, this comes in these beautiful slipcases, both anointed with the title of the series and the name of the author. This one still has the obi, this one does not. The obi really doesn't matter too much, but, you know, it would be nice to have both of them. But in any case, that is the really sick slipcase. I love the lightning bolt on here. At the top, just more of the same info. Shirato Sanpei's name is all over these things. And of course you have the books themselves. one depicting a vagrant of sorts, and then this is actually the last cover of the tankobon release from the 60s. But now that we've covered these slipcases, let's actually talk about the books themselves. We're going to start with book one, obviously. And so, there you have it. You have the image that was on the box, and then you have this little logo, which I still don't know the significance of yet. But, as you can see, it's very thick volumes, about 1,500 pages. And so, let's take a look at the inside. It does have a dust jacket, and it has this really nice material making up the underside of the book. And on the side, it also has a little stamp with the Ninja Bugeichou Shirato Sanpei book 1. Nice white end pages, as you can see. And there you have it. There are a few color illustrations. Again, basically just covers from the original tankobon release. And then, once you flip over, there's Kagemaru himself, and the story begins. So this covers the first half of Kagemaru Den, up to before it explains Kagemaru's clan. And the cartooning is just outstanding here. I don't believe I've ever shown off Akame, but that is the other early Sanpei book that I have, and the cartooning is just as accomplished, if not more. Here we have our main character, Jutaro, who is ostensibly the protagonist of the story. But, of course, there's also Kagemaru, and there's 1,000 other characters. This is a very packed series. But you may be asking, so why is this book so important? Why is it so special? Well, as I mentioned, it's a political drama. It's a political drama that tackles real-world, modern Japanese politics through the lens of a cool feudal, well, not even feudal, but a cool ninja tale about peasant upheaval and, murdering lords, burning down castles, doing whatever necessary for the common good. It's a book that has inspired many generations, and it's probably Sanpei's masterpiece, though many would fight you on that, calling Kamui Sanpei's masterpiece. But as you can see, these are gorgeously reprinted. The paper is a little thin, which isn't to my liking, but unfortunately it is necessary to fit all 1,500 pages into one of these books. But regardless of the fact, it's fucking Ninja Bugeichou, man. It is probably the most influential ninja comic of all time. Many people may know of this through I believe his name is Nagisa Oshima's Band of Ninja, or Tales of the Ninja, which was an avant-garde piece of filmmaking that didn't animate anything. It just took a camera, kind of like what I'm doing here, and it just went right over the panels and had some sound effects and stuff of the like. And it is excellent. It's a really excellent film. And it's probably the first ever motion comic. Something that you probably wouldn't expect from something like Bugeichou. Because this is not a story that, you know, seems like it would be done in that sort of format. You'd expect some sort of like lush animated adaptation that really captures everything that you wish to see. But no, it took that very avant-garde approach, and it probably makes it one of the most ambitious, quote-unquote, animated films I've ever seen. Something that I really like about Sanpei's work is that not only can he draw humans really well, he draws animals extremely well. And he knows how animals act. He knows how to cartoon animals, which is really cool. You see a lot more of that in Kamui, which I do hope to do a video on once the English edition does get released by Drawn and Quarterly. But it's one of those things that makes this comic more unique compared to the other ninja comics that were coming out around the time. Because many of those, you know, they just kind of focus on the human characters. Whereas this one kind of covers just the nature of all mammals. I find that extremely fascinating. I love these page breaks. And as you can see, there are these long stretches of text, which is, honestly, that's something that is in every Sanpei work, from Ninja Bugeichou to Akame to Kamui. He's a very informed guy, and he will always never miss an opportunity to share that knowledge. Just a truly phenomenal work here. This is one of my favorite fights in the series. This character, she's fucking awesome. Her death scene was fucking brutal in the movie. So we're actually approaching where the current translation for this stops. Which obviously shows that there's still a lot to go before you can read this whole fantastic story. But I think it's worth waiting because, oh, dude, this right here, this is everything. I've never seen manga swordplay be depicted in such an exciting way. And he's not even doing anything, practically. He's just cutting some trees, but it's just, the visual language is so strong and sound. Sanpei was really ahead of the curve. I love his bears. He draws really good bears. Lots of combat. So much combat. And it's kind of how Sanpei got away with a lot of the stuff that he discussed. It's like the immense combat is sort of like a smokescreen that hides the strong political subtext. yeah, so this is about where we are in the translation now. The attack on Fushikage Castle. I've already actually looked over this chapter and it will be releasing pretty soon. But yeah, we're gonna skip a pretty big chunk of that. Panels like this, man. This just shows like how amazing of a cartoonist Sanpei truly was. Actually, this whole sequence right here is just extremely sound. And what I love about Sanpei is that almost always there's a background. Even if the panel is so minute, he will add something in the background to make it interesting. Fantastic. I love it. Oh, this is the rat avalanche. This was a real thing. At the time that this was published, there was actually an island of rats that could travel in hordes across the water, and they could cause some serious damage. And that's more or less what Sanpei is showing here, just using, it in a different period, obviously. The only reason I know this is because that section of the film was so baffling to me. I had to figure out where the fuck that came from. This panel right here, like on the surface, it just looks like just some scratchy lines, but if you look closely, you can really just see like you could see human suffering, and it's amazing like what kind of shorthand can be used to show that level of detail, a level of detail that otherwise could be totally lost. Okay, so I feel like we've seen enough of Volume 1. Let me pull out Volume 2 so we can look at it a little bit before I give my final thoughts on this fantastic set. Fucking love that cover right there of Kagemaru in the water. As you can see, this one is a little bit thicker, mainly because this covers everything else. And I love the color illustrations in this one. Beautiful stuff right here. So cool. Depicting Kagemaru's head. And so this is where the film version takes a little break and is like, all right, let's explain the like Kagemaru's clan now. So you got this guy. You got this dude. All characters that I don't want to talk too much about because you'll see more of them. It's really cool seeing young Kagemaru in these flashbacks, though. Just seeing a not-so-strong-jawed version of Kagemaru. But yeah, I love how they depict the peasants. I love this. It's just like a fucking explanation of, like, certain creatures. Like, you're not gonna get that in most manga. It's so rad, man. I really do want to just try to let what you see speak for itself. Because in hopes that one day this could get a lavish hardcover English edition, which is not to be expected, but at least you can read the translation that we're working on over at Afternoon Pulp. Because I think it's very exciting. and we should have got this in English a long ass time ago. So it's about time that someone takes the reins and gets this important piece of fiction. Like, dude, shit like this. In what other manga are you gonna see shit like this? Especially a ninja manga. Like, just explaining these techniques outright. Like, normally, in like Naruto or something, it would just be like a literal explanation. But here, it's like a whole ass diagram being like, yeah, okay, so this is exactly how they did it. I love that, dude. It shows that Sanpei really did his homework. And he's not just speaking out of his ass. Oh, that is a major spoiler. Oops. Yeah, I highly recommend you catch up on the translation, which is now up to chapter 17. And then also look for the Band of Ninja, Tales of the Ninja film by Oshima. It's a really interesting experience and very unique. It's not like anything else I think you'll ever see. I love the variety of character designs that Sanpei can pull off here. He can do like these like very cute, very, standard designs. He can do these kind of ugly designs. He could do like strong jaw designs like Kagemaru. He can do ghastly peasants. He can do a goofy looking priest like Mufu Dojin. He can do all kinds of shit, man. It's amazing. And all the while being able to draw animals, backgrounds, just like, he was truly one of the greats. One of the absolute greatest. You can draw bugs. You can draw really good bugs. Like, what couldn't this man draw? I remember seeing this guy for the first time. I thought he was fucking Kamui. What else can you really say? It's a real masterpiece of cartooning, this one is. And I think whether you be a fan of Ninja Comics or Sanpei or anything of that ilk, I highly recommend that you seek out a copy of Ninja Bugeichou. Because I think that this is probably the most important and the best ninja comic of all time. And you can quote me on that. I have no problem being quoted on that. Because I fucking love this series. And I'm so happy to be giving it its due. And I hope you, if you decide after this video to go start reading it, I hope you will enjoy it. Because it is something truly special. And I think that will do it for my overview of this 1983 special omnibus set of Sanpei Shirato's Ninja Bugeichou Kagemaru Den. Hopefully, I will have something else to show y'all soon enough. But I hope this acts as a nice little tie over until I can start making proper videos once again. Anyways, folks, really hope you enjoyed this video. Go read Ninja Bugeichou. Go watch Band of the Ninja. And read more old manga. I think that's what I'll end with. Read more old, influential, cool manga.